which number one, you want to hang on to these so you can find out about all the great photovoltaic training that we're doing at our company. And also, if any of you send us customers, just anyone, whether it's your parents or anyone you know who owns a house that wants to put solar on it, and we actually sell them the system, we will give you a referral fee. So you can make money just sending us people. So take my cards. I'm also going to pass around a sign-up sheet if you guys want to give an email address and or phone number. We will send you emails when we set up new classes, so you guys can always know when our classes are going to be and that kind of stuff. So, if you're not comfortable, that you don't have to fill it out. But if you want emails from us saying, "Hey, we've got these classes," let us know. And one of our main classes that we offer, Jeff was just talking about, it's our NABCEP entry-level PV solar design and installation class, and it is a 5-day-long thing where we go all day, every day. Or there's also times we're doing it for Mount Santa Center College. We're going to do Saturday mornings, so it's going to be 8 Saturday mornings, 4 hours every Saturday morning. And that one's going to start in October. We're doing a full 1-week course January 14th. I think you guys are still out of school then, if you guys wanted to come to that one. We also do little 1-day trainings like solar for electricians and solar for contractors, just to do a basic overview for people. So lots of good stuff there, and we do pretty good discounts for students on a lot of the classes. So feel free to call me or go to our website, ambassadorenergycollege.com. So I'm done plugging now. I'll have to talk about something real. So Jeff brought me over here. What Ambassador Energy does is we have a lot of different things that we do. One is we actually go out and install solar systems on people's houses and businesses. So that's one of the things we do. We're actually full, what we call integrators, where we're integrating the solar into existing buildings and sometimes new construction. The other thing we do is we bring other contractors into the solar business. They come to us, they become an agency, we train them, we help them sell the equipment, we help them put in their first installs, we go out on the job site to train their employees and that kind of thing. So that's another aspect of what we do. And then the third thing we do is just plain training for anybody that's, from college students to other people that are already in the industry. And the NABCEP that he mentioned is the North American Board of Certified Energy Practitioners. And basically it is the only recognized organization out there certifying solar people. So they have several levels. They have the entry-level accreditation, and then they have the NABCEP PV Installer Certification and a NABCEP PV Technical Salesperson Certification. All of which are very difficult to get and require a lot of training and having to take really nasty tests. And the technical sales and PV installer credentials, actually you have to have industry experience to do the sales. You actually have to give proposals to real customers. To be an installer, you actually have to supervise at least 3 or 5 installs, depending on how much training you have and who you work for. So all of them are very difficult to get. In the solar industry, they're the gold standard. They're what everybody strives for. And a lot of people within the industry are always trying to get their certification. You don't need them in the state of California, but other states do require them. Oregon requires contractors to be at least entry level, or they can't install solar. They go to the permit office and they hand them their submittal, and they'll get turned away if they don't have the NABCEP entry level credential. And in other states like Pennsylvania and Ohio, they're requiring the PV installer certification, or at least someone at the company having that certification to make sure everything's going to go right on the install. So, we're training to help people get to those. A lot of our training courses are offered online, so people in Ohio and Pennsylvania can attend, and we're trying to get the whole industry certified so everybody knows what they're doing. There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong. So some of the stuff that Jeff wanted me to talk about is, one of the things is job acquisition, which I'm sure you're all very interested in. How do I actually get a job when I'm done getting my renewable energy certificate at Mount Santa Center College? And the answer is apply everywhere. You kind of want to look at who you want to work for. If you like doing a lot of different things, you'd want to work for a smaller company, where our company's very small, and as we say, we wear a lot of hats. I'm director of training. I also do a lot of the system design. I actually go out and supervise install crews. I do a little bit of everything. I'll spend 2 days out in the field, 3 days in the office, another day in front of people teaching. And yeah, that is 6 days, but that's how many days I usually work. So, that's what happens when you work for a small company. If you go to a big company like Varango Solar or Solar City, you just have one single job and you just sit at your desk all day and do that. Or if it's installing, you'd be out in the field every day doing that, so.
Catherine, do you mind if we ask questions?
By all means, anyone
Who
has
did you say,
questions?
Borrego Solar?
Varengo.
Varengo.
I mean, you could just look up California Solar on Google and you'll come up with a dozen solar companies to call and say, hey, I want a job. And, you know, don't wait for them to offer you the job. Go get them. Go to their websites. A lot of them have little career sections on their websites. Right now, our company, if anyone's interested, we are looking for an install crew. And don't even think about it if you can't spend 10 hours out in this heat, because we've gone through a lot of installers this summer because they can't take it. So if you do want to install solar panels and be the guy out there or girl out there with the, you know, the hammers and the drills, you have to be able to handle the weather, whether it's heat or cold. One of the first things my company did to me when I started was they sent me to Denver in February to go install a system, and we froze our tails off. And then, you know, we've been out here in the desert installing in July, you know, just absolute hot enough to make you very, very sick. So if you can handle that kind of stuff and you guys want to be an installer, give me a call, you got my cards. The other person we're looking for is someone who knows AutoCAD. So if any of you know AutoCAD, please give me a call. We are looking for someone to help us do our permit documents.
Okay, now, does anyone know what AutoCAD is, or does anyone not know?
AutoCAD is computer-aided drafting. It's a drafting program. If you guys do want to get into solar and you want to get into the design end of it, you don't want to end up on a roof all day, AutoCAD is a very, very useful thing to learn. It's one of the holes in the industry.
At the college?
I believe they do.
Huh.
I don't know for sure, but it's a useful thing in a lot of construction industries. It's drawing out the actual plans that we need to submit to the building department to actually have them say, yes, you can put solar on this house. So if you don't know AutoCAD, I suggest you learn that one. It's a very useful thing, and it's one of the industry problems right now. Everybody's looking for people that know AutoCAD.
Have you heard of BIM?
BIM.
B-I-M?
What is it?
That's like a three-dimensional AutoCAD.
Yeah, there's three-dimensional stuff. There's Blender. There's Google SketchUp. That's another useful one to learn, and that's free. You can download Google SketchUp for free to play with it. We use that a little bit to make presentations for customers, and those come out looking really
I
good.
think the architects, like when they're doing a full-blown job, will use BIM so they can really cross-coordinate all their stuff.
Yeah, but AutoCAD in general is kind of the industry standard for doing the
so that
permits,
works.
permit docs. So again, how to find jobs, go to the solar companies and apply. Don't wait for them to put an ad in the paper. They rarely do. Another place to look for jobs is renewableenergyworld.com. And that's basically renewable energy jobs. And companies like ours that are looking for people might only put it there. We wouldn't put it on Monster or put it in a local newspaper. We might only advertise on that website, renewableenergy.com. So that's another one to look for jobs out there. And you know, finding work is one of those things that they say that it's not what you know, it's who you know, but that's not true. What you know is important, and who knows you is important. You know who I am, but I don't know who any of you are. But if you come up and talk to me after this or something, or call me up with someone that you are referring me as a customer or something like that, you might stick in my head a little more. And when I go to hire people, the people that I've met, that I've talked to, are the ones I'm going to go to first. We even tried hiring one of the people that came to our entry-level class. He's one of the ones that couldn't make it in the heat, and by the third day he was throwing up and had to go home and couldn't do it anymore. But, you know, like I said, we went through a lot of people this summer with that. But, you know, that kind of thing can help get your foot in the door with any company. Just, you know, go knock on their door. Just say, hey, I want to get in the solar business. I'm really gung-ho, and I know a lot, and I've been through, you know, the college training courses, and I want to do this. Going and getting your entry-level certification, having that on your resume is a big deal, because people that are in the industry are trying to get that. If an employer sees that on your resume, he knows you have a certain level of knowledge that he's not going to have to train you on a lot of stuff, and it's something that they are looking for. How is our sales department structured, and how do they operate? Our sales department is like a lot of sales departments in the solar industry. It is commission only. These people do not get paid unless they sell stuff. They're independent contractors. They come to us. We help them out. We give them brochures. We give them suggestions. We help them create their proposals. You know, we train them on solar. We go out on their first sales calls with them and that kind of stuff. We do give them a lot of support, but they do not get paid till the job is done, the customer has paid us, and then they get their cash. Sales is a good way to break into the industry. Actually, that's how I started. My first job that I applied for was a sales job because I had a little bit of electronics knowledge, but I didn't feel real confident in myself on that. So I applied for the sales job. 2 months later, they had me working in tech support and repairing inverters because they saw that I had that potential and that's what they needed at that place. So I got my foot in the door with the sales job and then immediately transferred into something else. And we have now hired 2 of our people that started off as non-paid salespeople that, you know, we saw their potential and brought them in to do other jobs other than sales. So, you know, there's a lot of ways to get into it, and sales is awful, but it's a good way to start because most companies will give a salesperson a chance, and then if they see them doing good or see that they're very technically minded or that kind of thing, they might bring them into another position that actually gets paid instead of the commission-only thing. So, you know, that's the basics on how you would get into the solar business. The quoting process is another thing that, oh, and then, yeah, how much of our work is cold call, hard bid, negotiated. Everything's negotiable. Everything's negotiated. We almost never sell that first contract we put in front of the customer. There's always, well, you know, that's too big or that's too small or I don't want to spend that much money or, you know, that whatever the issue is, it always gets revised and negotiated. And okay, we'll take $500 off, or we'll cut down that tree that's going to shade your roof for you instead of charging extra for that, or you know, whatever we have to throw in to make the deal a little sweeter, or we have to lower our price to beat our competition, or that kind of thing.
So, Catherine, as you look at your current customer list, what percentage would you say are, you know, first-time customers as opposed to referral?
Yeah, first time, right now, since we've just started our sales program in January, most of the people we're installing right now are cold call people that we got either by going and knocking on doors. Literally, the salespeople will go out there and just knock on people's doors. Hey, you want a solar quote? Give me your electric bills. And that's how we've gotten some of them. Others we've gotten by going and sitting at the farmer's market or the home shows or, you know, that kind of thing where we're sitting at a booth and they come up and they get their info. Yeah. So most of what we're installing right now is that. But as we're getting those installs done, we're getting referral business from all those people. So now it's ballooning into each customer gives us 2 or 3 more customers, and each of those is going to give us 2 or 3 more customers, and it just gets huge. And we're starting to do that, and that's why we're hiring, because we're getting to that point where every customer is turning into 3, and you know, we're trying to keep up with it. So a lot of it was cold calling at the beginning, but once you, and referral customers are the best because they don't get quotes from other companies because they trust you, because they saw you do their neighbor's house or their friend's house or their brother's house or whoever it was that referred them. And number 2, they don't argue much about price either because they know their other guy got a good deal, so they must be getting a good deal. So those are what we call laydowns, where they just, you know, walk in, here's a contract, customer signs it, it's a done deal. So those are the easy ones.
Now, you're going to talk a little more about this, but the financing.
Right, financing.
Is it, are they leased then, most of them, or?
Yeah, financing is a tricky thing. There's a couple ways to finance a system. Leasing is very common. It's not necessarily in the customer's best interest. It's just like cars. It's not necessarily a good idea to lease a car.
But no money out of pocket.
But no money out of pocket, right. It's hard to get a finance loan for this.
Yeah.
There is one bank that's doing finance loans that's kind of government subsidied. And they just raised their amount. They were doing $25,000 was their max, and they just upped that to $40,000. And we're like having a party in the office because that means we can put in a lot of bigger systems on the finance deal, which is good. Other things that they have, Riverside County actually has what they call the HERO program, which is financing it on your property tax. So again, it's 0 money down. If you have equity in your house, the equity in your house is basis how much you can borrow. But you just pay it back with your property taxes. And then there's a whole bunch of income taxes ramifications with that. You actually get to write off what you're paying on the property tax, because it's property tax, and it's like this whole big thing. So the tax people love it. The accountants look at the proposals and they're like, oh, really? I get to do all that? And they get all excited. The leases is another one. And leases, the reason they can do those so much cheaper than purchasing the system is another tax loophole thing, where commercial systems get better tax breaks. So the company that's leasing it to you owns it, so they get the tax breaks and not you. And it's a whole crazy thing the way they ship the money around. But on the leasing and financing, it almost always works out so that your monthly payment on the lease or the loan is lower than what you're paying for electricity now. So